You are listening to the Icehouse podcast, hosting conversations with gritty Kiwi business owners and leaders and industry-leading minds.
Kia ora everybody, welcome to the Icehouse podcast. My name is Bryar Stewart and I am the community manager at the Icehouse. And today we are chatting with Josie Dawber. She is the Plant Varieties IP manager, very cool, at Plant Food and Research. She's based in Christchurch and she has done our effective leadership program. So thanks heaps, Josie, for jumping on the podcast today to talk about your career journey and your experience on the program as well.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much.
No worries. Well, we'd like to start with this open question. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're passionate about.
Yeah, so as you said, I work at Plant and Food Research. I'm based down here in Christchurch at our Lincoln office. So Plant and Food Research is a Crown research organisation that employs just about over 900 staff across 14 sites in New Zealand, as well as in Australia and the USA. So we are quite a large organisation.
Massive. Wow.
Yeah, and so specifically I work in the plant varieties team, as you said, as the plant varieties intellectual property manager, and our team contributes to the revenue through securing and commercialising plant variety intellectual property. So to delve into that, my role is more about developing the IP strategies and implementing them for the varieties that come out of the breeding program. So there's two of us in the team that manage that for the whole company.
Wow.
So there's quite a lot going on there.
Did you say 900 staff?
Yeah, which I think we're almost at 1,000 to be honest, but yeah.
That is huge. That is really, really big, especially for New Zealand. Whew. And two in your team. Go you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
To unpack that more, because I'm sure some people were going, what does that look like day to day? Plant varieties, IP manager specifically, but more you. What does a day in the life of you look like, Josie?
So I actually figure skate 3 mornings a week. So
cool.
Morning starts quite early, and at like 5 a.m. when I get up and go to skating and get on the ice.
Wow.
For like an hour and a half maybe, and then I would go off to work, go out to Lincoln. Some days I work at home, but yeah, each day is like a little bit different. Because we manage so many varieties, there's always so much in train, so it's a bit hard to say what the day in the life at work would look like. Not too many meetings luckily, and yeah, always lots of emails to answer. And then in the evening it's pretty quiet because I've either been up really early, so I just want to go to bed, or I have to get up early. So
true. that's true. Wow, figure skating. How long have you been doing that?
So I learned when I was 18, so I'm not a child prodigy or anything.
That's cool.
No, it's really fun though.
Yeah. Is it indoor?
Yeah, but I'm hoping for a really cold winter so we can do some outdoor skating.
Yeah, that would be stunning. That would be very cool. I'd love to hear what led to the role, because it is quite specific. And so, what was the aha moment, or what did the career progression look like to land to where you are today?
Yeah, so before working at Plant and Food, I was actually in a native plant nursery. I worked there while I was at university, and then just sort of kept working there afterwards because it's a job, so that's always great. And I actually really enjoyed it. I loved being really active, but I just got to a point where I was kind of wanted the capacity to earn more money, to be honest. And also, I think at the time I didn't really realize it, but I wanted the option to be able to develop my career. I'm not really super career driven, but I think in the back of my mind I was I'm kind of at a point in this job where that's it, I can't really go any further, and there's not really a clear career path. But so I was still looking for something related to plants. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so when I saw this job advertised, I was looks like it's related to plants.
Plant and food research.
We're working at Plant and Food, so I didn't really know much about intellectual property. But so I just applied as I initially applied as the intellectual property coordinator. So I worked in that job for almost 4 years, and then I got a promotion last year to the job that I'm currently in.
Very cool. Yeah, I love that. And obviously a passion. Well, we can see behind you as well. There is a passion. There is a passion for plants. This is a real thing. It's very cool. What does motivate you every day?
So there's, as I mentioned before, there's always something different to do every day. I think that like really goes a long way to getting to work and you're like, like you sort of know what's going to happen, but you never quite know. There might be something that pops up that needs to be done today. And as I said, we work across all our different breeding programs that both operate in New Zealand and overseas. And so we've got arable and ornamental and fruit breeding programs. So, and each one operates ever so slightly differently. So it's there's definitely a variety in there.
Very
but
cool.
I also really enjoy working with the people in my team as well, and I think that actually goes quite a long way to enjoying the job and having that motivation to work together to achieve a common goal.
It's huge, being able to rock up to work and, really enjoy the banter and the chat and the culture that a company brings and the people a part of it bring. So that's cool to hear. That's a big part of what motivates you daily as well.
Yeah.
Very cool. If you could go back in time, what piece of advice would you give your younger self? This can be taken any way you like.
Okay, I think, I maybe have like one or two things maybe, but I think my first thing is probably like confidence. That confidence definitely for me, it develops with age, even though I'm not that old, I know, but like even a few years ago, I was not very confident in like talking in group situations. I didn't really like talking to people I didn't know. I'm still like not that great, but I feel like I'm improving slowly. And I'd like to get to a point where I can just chat to a large group of people and not have to spend hours prepping for like what I'm going to say. So yes, doing this podcast is a little bit out of my comfort zone. And yes, I did do quite a bit of prep for thinking about what I was going to say. But one day maybe we will get there where I'm not feeling like I'm like super nervous. It was also like one of the goals in the Icehouse course when I did it was like kind of the major one to focus on, like having confidence in myself and like confidence on what I'm going to say and that I actually believe what I'm saying. That's I know what I'm talking about, I suppose, is probably something we focused on. But you don't get better at anything unless you practice it. So here I am putting myself out there.
I just want to applaud you. That is so cool to be asked to jump on a podcast, probably feel the fear, but do it anyway. It's awesome. And you're, it's so interesting to hear a job. Like I haven't heard a story from someone in your industry before and in the specific job you're in. And so it's quite interesting hearing how it all works and what you've gained from it and how you enjoy it. But thank you so much for being on the podcast, because I know this wouldn't have been easy, but it's a great sort of step in the right direction for what you've been talking about, right? In terms of upskilling slowly but surely in certain areas. But I'm the same as you. I'm a big prepper. Like I love to have notes and I'm not good on the spot, I don't think. So we've all got our strengths. Totally. I want to talk a little bit about that. You mentioned the program at the Icehouse, and obviously even that would have been, how did you find that? Because with what you've just said, jumping on a program, chatting to people in the group, talking to the group about different projects and ideas and thoughts, how did you find the effective leadership program?
I actually like kind of went into it thinking, okay, I need to like talk to people, I need to like kind of put myself out there. So I think going in with that mindset really helped a lot in that sense. But interestingly, like after we all did the team management profiles, we were all very similar on like our sort of like introvert level and the way that we interact with people. Even Michaela commented on like, wow, I've never had a group that's so similar in the way that they like to apply themselves to work. And so I feel like I was with a bunch of people that was actually quite a lot like me.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
It helped. I don't know, but
that's cool. I like that. Were you with other people from your company, from Plant Food and Research?
Yeah, so there was one other guy in our team that we both did the course together.
Very cool. Nice that you can sort of bounce the learnings off each other, right? And sort of have that person that you can sit with and enjoy the course with. How did you hear about the course in the first place?
So we have two others that had already done the course in our team, and they like really found it super valuable and they really enjoyed it. And then, yeah, as I said, I was promoted about a year ago. And so, of course, we'd have to replace me in my job. So I would then be a line manager to someone, which was new to me. And I was kind of like, holy moly, what do I do? And so I really wanted to do like a course or something that would kind of give me the foundation for setting myself up well for some framework on how to manage another person. As well as that, in this role, like you're doing a lot of leading by influence to other people. Like, as I said, we manage all the intellectual property for the whole company, and there's only 2 of us that do that. And so we have quite a wide influence across the country, so across the company. So to be able to, I really want to be able to do that well. Yeah, the short answer.
Yeah, and so cool that you can see that, and go, hey, a lot of people would take on management positions and go, okay, yeah, I've got this. I don't need any help. But the reality to go, okay, this is new for me. I might need some upskilling, putting your hand up to jump on a program with the Icehouse to upskill in that area is only going to bring on good things. So yeah, that's really cool to hear. Did you have a big takeaway from it?
I think my takeaway was that I actually knew more than I thought I did initially. Like it's probably a takeaway was like, I should back myself and be more confident. It's that whole confidence thing again.
Yeah.
But it was also, it was really good to have those like frameworks there and have them like better explained. So even though like you hear something, you're like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. But it's not until you actually have to apply it and have the like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 that you're like, actually, I've heard of it, but I don't really know how to use it. And so I think that, I went from hearing it to actually being able to use it, which was, it was definitely really valuable.
Yeah, so being able to put it into action, really, really great. Do you think there's benefits to having multiple staff on the program from the same company that have maybe not on the same one as you, but have done it over a longer period of time?
I actually think we've all done the effective leadership course. So
you've had quite a few.
Yeah, from our team. So I think it was really interesting to see all of our team management profiles, which of course look at the way that you prefer to work, and then you can apply that to your job. And we are all within our team, the 4 of us that have done it, we are all quite different in we're opposite sides of the quadrant. And so it's great to see how we can kind of like use that to our advantage, which I thought was, that was quite interesting. And I also think it'd be really good if more people from our team could do it. So I think to be able to say, look, the 4 of us have done it, we've all developed and learned from this. It's kind of like a sales pitch to be like, more people should do it. It's so great.
Yeah, for sure. And we hear this quite frequently that, you come back to work and you're kind of talking the same language. You can bounce ideas around from what you've learned in the program. Have you found that?
Yeah, it is a little bit. You sort of, someone will start talking about something and you're like, oh, actually, I see the steps they're taking to start this new project or do this task or what have you. And you can kind of, keep working along in that same direction. So
very cool. And isn't Michaela great? She's such a great facilitator.
Yeah, no, she is. She, gave me like lots of ideas and different things to think about, which was, really helpful. Like, even if they're like little antidotes off to the side, I thought it was, lots there.
And I just want to say as well, go you for traveling from Christchurch to Hawke's Bay, because this program is based in Hawke's Bay, for all of the sessions. That is a big commitment, but good on you.
Yeah. And I'm, really glad that Plant and Food were happy to support me on that. So
yeah, very cool. Thank you, Plant and Food. I love how they are investing into their people and their teams and acknowledging when people put their hand up to want to better themselves. I think that's such a great trait in a company, especially of that size too. Very important. Last question I have for you is, what excites you about the future when it comes to implementing something you're learning maybe, or even the direction of the company?
So I think I did mention before that like I feel like I have a better foundation for like generally the way that I'm working. So I'm kind of the person that likes to weigh up all the options possible before I like start doing something. which is okay, but it means sometimes it's really hard to make a decision because you're like, do I have all the information?
Yeah.
And so this, can be a bit of a drawback for making decisions. And so I think now that I've kind of got a foundation for being like, okay, I need to start this task, I need to start this project, what's the best way to do that? And I can use those steps to kind of get me there, just like for an example. So rather than just like muddling through something, I feel like I can actually do that. I think talking about like Michaela before and like little antidotes that she says on the side, I remember something she said was about like having a really long to-do list is not helpful for anyone, and I'm a really long to-do list kind of person. So when I got back from the course, I was like, right, we need to get rid of this to-do list. And so now either I delegate it to someone, or if it's been on there for a long time, I just delete it. Obviously it's not that important.
Wow, great.
I mean, I still got a little to-do list, but it's not like really long.
Yeah, that's there because people may have heard that and gone, how do I get rid of my to-do list? But you just said you delete it, because if it's been on that for ages, it's obviously not a priority, or you delegate. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, honestly, just so cool to hear your story, Josie, and your learning over the last year or so, and further as well. Appreciate you sharing your story and being on the Icehouse podcast. So thanks for your time.
That's right. Thank you very much.